Hello and welcome to What Bike Next. This, of course, is the series where Simon and I go head to head to try and find a BikeSocial member their next bike. And of course, one day we could be doing the same for you. First of all, we need to say thank you as always and send big hugs to Pirelli who enable us to make this series. So thank you very much for that. Here we are at the Superbike factory at Donington Park once more, and we're here to find Tom Lindley, a BikeSocial member, his next bike. And here he is. Tom, thank you so much for, well, putting your faith in us really. Tell me, or tell us, what do you ride right now and what are you looking for? How can we help?
So I've got a Tracer 900 GT at the minute. I'm looking for something a little bigger. I'm 6'4", 130 kilos, big feet. I don't really fit on it that well. I'm looking for something that I can commute on, that I can tour on, that I can go to the bike nights on, does a bit of everything really.
Give us a quick overview of your biking history, just so we've got an idea of where your experience levels are. And
I started off with a scooter. I had a little Honda FX650 Vigor, which I very quickly got rid of and moved to a Suzuki SV650S. Had that for a few years, did some tours of Europe, then got rid of that and have had a little bit of a break for about sort of 14, 15 years until I bought the Tracer last year.
so in terms of your experience then, you've never ridden an adventure bike or a sports bike?
I've done the odd test ride on an adventure bike, and I've done a few track days and a few off-road experience days, that sort of thing, but not a lot of different riding.
And is there a specific genre of bike that you're looking to buy?
I've always liked the GS and that adventure style. It probably suits me, being taller and able to carry sort of bigger luggage over longer distances, all that sort of thing.
It's like the transit van of the biking world, isn't it?
Yeah,
you just chuck
absolutely,
stuff in it.
Yeah.
Have you ever tried anything like that? Have you ever test ridden?
I've test ridden the Triumph Tiger 1200 a few months ago. Really enjoyed it. Got the full adaptive electronic suspension and all the gadgets on it. It was great. Felt a little bit different to the triple of the Tracer.
No limitations on engine configuration, no limitations particularly on style, no limitations on engine capacity or power output. Is there anything that you must have?
I do like my gadgets, so you know, I like the TFT screen on the Tracer at the minute. Obviously on newer bikes, they're a little bit bigger and more advanced, so I'd like that. Heated grips and the different riding modes, I tend to use those quite a lot.
And is there anything that you really, really don't want?
So a Harley, that cruiser style bike is probably not for me at this moment in time. I'm not a massive fan of green, but it's, if I'm being really honest. So yeah, avoiding that would be great. But other than that, yeah, I'm really open to what you guys have got on the offer for me.
I guess it begs the question, how much have you got to play with? How much have we got to play with? What's your budget?
It's quite a bit of a range really. I've got between 12 and 17 grand, I think, to play with. And whatever's left after the bike spend will be put towards a new car, which I am also in the market for.
Second bike, surely, a second bike.
Yeah.
Good, right, I reckon we've got enough to go on here.
I think we've got enough too. I think it's quite an open goal here, isn't it? There's a lot to choose from.
Yeah, we're going to have a scoot round in here. Do you want to go and have a cup of tea and then we'll call you back?
Sounds good.
Perfect.
Thank you very much.
Tom's going to test ride 3 bikes we think might suit him best. One chosen by me, one chosen by Simon, and then a third wildcard bike chosen by Superbike Factory's sales expert, Aidan French. Then at the end, we'll find out which bike Tom prefers, and hopefully we'll have answered his question. What bike next? Tom will be testing our 3 bike choices on the What Bike Next test route, which is an hour-long loop taking the twisty roads near Donington Park. A mixture of A's and B's in town and out, which offers plenty of riding for Tom to get a feel for his next bike.
Tom's a tall chap, he wants a big bike, he wants maybe an adventure bike. Triumph's Tiger 1200 XRT. Now this is a 2020 model and it's got everything. It comes with all the bells and whistles with the heated grips and plenty of luggage space, and it is a big bike for big geezers. But I don't know, I've got the sneaky feeling he wants something a bit newer, and this isn't the latest generation Tiger. So Going to keep looking, I think.
Ducati's Multistrada 1260 is a model that immediately came to mind when I heard Tom talking. It's got the power, it's got the practicality, it's got the character, and it's got that pizzazz that only Ducati can offer. These three examples aren't right for what I want to give Tom. I was also thinking about the V4, which came to the market a couple of years ago. There might be a really good option on V4s, but again, we can talk to him about that. They don't happen to have one here.
Aha, Honda's Africa Twin. It's possibly an option, certainly got the height for a 6'4" chap, but I don't know, this is the original 2017 version, doesn't come with many bells and whistles. It's DCT, but I think it's actually sort of like about 94 horsepower, so probably even less powerful than his Tracer, so maybe not. However, this fella, BMW's S1000 XR, now that's a genuine possibility. Comes with everything that he wants. It's got the heated grips, it's got the potential for plenty of luggage, it's got 160 horsepower-ish, so it's got plenty of go in it. Again, I just got a sneaky feeling he wants something with a bit more character than the inline 4. I think he wants a V-twin. Right, Tom, shall we have a look at your first bike?
Let's go for it, yeah.
Okay, you get that end, I'll get this end. Oh, it's big, but it's a big bike. Oh.
Team Orange.
Slow reveal. Well, there you go. It's not green. What do you reckon then? So,
Nice, yeah.
KTM 1290 Super Adventure.
Yeah,
This is a 2020 model.
yeah.
It's got 5,000 miles on the clock, and it's up for 11 grand, pretty much.
Okay, yeah.
So, 5,000 miles, barely run in.
Yeah, yeah,
It's big, plenty of room for you.
absolutely.
It's got loads of gadgets. It's got the semi-active suspension. It's got cruise control. It's got heated grips. I think it's got a heated seat, this fella, as well. There is a bit of an absence of luggage.
Okay.
But 11 grand, it's kind of the bottom end of your budget.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
you could afford some luggage and a car. What do you think?
Yeah, love it.
Was it on your radar?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely something that I'd want to try and experience. I think they've got brilliant sort of write-ups, haven't they?
They are good. And small matter of 160 horsepower.
Is that what it is? Right. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Nice. Well.
Yeah. It's a playful creature.
Right. Very good. Yeah. Looking forward to it.
Excellent. Good. Well, that's pretty positive then. Shall we go for a ride?
Sounds good.
Let's get out there.
Let's see how Tom gets on with bike number 1, or perhaps the step up in power from the Yamaha to the KTM might be too much.
Okay, so Tom's reaction to the KTM isn't as enthusiastic as I'd hoped. It grants all but one of his wishes. It's a big adventure bike with lots of room for his 6 feet and 4 inches. The 1290 also has plenty of grunt and power. It's got V-twin charisma, and okay, so it's not the latest 1290 Super Adventure with the newest TFT dash and suspension and electronics, or a radar, but it's got pretty much everything else, apart from luggage. But this 1290 is so under budget, at just under £11,000, Tom can afford to kit the KTM out top to bottom, with change for a new car. Now I know what you're thinking, why not choose a BMW? Well, I'll tell you why. It's too easy and it's so predictable. Come to think of it, it's exactly the sort of bike Michael would choose. In fact, I'll bet you a tenner that's what he's gone for. But I suppose maybe that's why Tom doesn't seem quite so up for the KTM. Perhaps he's disappointed with a bike that is literally everything he wants. Let's find out what he says when we get back from the test ride.
So, Tom, what did you make of 160 Austrian horsepowers?
Mixed feelings, to be honest.
Oh, God.
Yeah, great power, quite an aggressive delivery, which was all right, just a little bit of getting used to.
Yeah, it's ready to race.
Yeah, ready to race, yeah, yeah. Brakes were great, like I say, loads of power, which is really good. Just the seating position wasn't overly different to my Tracer. It didn't feel like my knees were quite high up. And a lot of vibration through the tank here.
Does that mean you're quite cramped? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I didn't think, oh, this is really comfortable. I could sit on this for hours.
Right.
I'm not saying it was uncomfortable, but it just wasn't as, you look at it and think it's big, comfy, great.
Beginner's error. Have we adjustable seat?
Oh, is it on the lower seat setting?
Could be on the adjust. I can't remember.
Okay, yeah,
It might
yeah.
be. Look at that gap there. I
Yeah.
think possibly we could have given you a bit more leg room there.
Right, okay, yeah.
It's an aftermarket seat, isn't it, as well,
Yeah.
for the power parts?
It is. Yeah, heated seat. I
Right,
think.
okay.
Ready for your super adventure.
All right, so that's a sort of a
Yeah, mixed
big
feeling.
V-twin.
No, not really one of those before, but really enjoyed it. It was good fun. You could definitely have a lot of fun twisties, and then but it seems like it'd be fine sat on a motorway for a little bit as well. So it ticks all the boxes. The only thing, going through town, slower speeds, a little bit snatchy on the throttle, I thought, but that was. Again, get used to that a little bit, and when you stick it in rain mode, it's a little bit more.
I was going to say, did you try the different modes?
I did try the different modes. Yeah, sport mode's
KTM's are
pretty
quite
fun.
famous for needing a bit of a remap if you want
Yeah.
to smooth that throttle out. And
Yeah.
I suppose importantly, it didn't break down either, did it?
No, perfect.
Always a bonus.
It's always a bonus, absolutely.
I have a solution. Bike number 2, mine. But what if Tom doesn't want a KTM? Let's go and find out what bike number 2 is. It's not a monkey bike, obviously. Come on, bike number 2. This is my choice. Let's go, let's go. You asked.
Very nice.
Michael has provided.
Look at that.
Yeah, it's fully spec'd. BMW R1250 GS Adventure. Adventure meaning it's got more bells and whistles and a much larger tank, of course. So
Yes,
you want to do
yeah.
bigger mileage, bigger tank range, 30-litre tank. Luggage, obviously, all inclusive. You've got electronic suspension, you've got quick shifters, you've got heated grips, you've got everything you'd ever imagine. It's sat-nav ready, it's keyless,
very good,
it's
yeah.
one owner from new. What else can I tell you? It's 10,300 miles and it comes in at 14.5 grand.
Okay, yeah, great.
What are your thoughts?
I mean, I'm really excited to ride it. Always wanted a GS. Feels like it's, like you say, it's not a monkey bike, so it's plenty big enough.
Yeah.
Got the luggage, it'd be great, and I'm really excited to get on it.
It's got 134 brake horsepower as well, over 100 foot-pound of torque, and so I think it's got plenty of go. And
Ticks the boxes, right?
you got it. I'm excited for you.
I know, yeah, it'd be great. It'd be
Go on,
good.
do you want to have a go on it then?
Sounds good. Let's get out.
All right. Well, let's see if bike number 2 is the one for Tom, or is it a little bit too obvious? I know, it's an obvious choice, but look how perfectly it suits him. Well, I've never seen a GS Adventure look so small before. Anyway, it's ideal with the shape, size, power, adventure styling, and all of those rider aids and accompaniments he spoke of. TFT screen, quick shifter, heated grips. It's got the luggage, and that'll easily take him over 300 miles per tank as well. Oh, and it's not green. It's a September 2019 model, one owner from new, full service history, and just 10,300 miles from new. It has the character, practicality and flexibility as well. So if he's looking for a bike to nip to the shops on, or to nip to Morocco on, the BMW GSA is the one for you, Tom. Mr. Hargreaves, I think I have this one in the bag, sir. So how was it, the magnificent BMW? Was it as everything you'd ever wished for? Yes.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, it really was?
Yeah, it
Awesome.
was, yeah. Whatever comes next is going to have some trouble beating it, I think. It was brilliant. Brakes were fantastic. Plenty of power. Got quite the same delivery as the KTM, but still plenty for me and what I need it for. Really, really comfortable. Not quite as much ground clearance as the KTM. I had the peg down a couple of times. But yeah.
Did you?
Yeah. I've got. I think I took the front end off my boot there, but but not quite as bad as the Tracer.
Again, did you try the different modes?
Yeah, I tried the different modes.
Even the electronics, even the suspension would give a bit more ride height.
Yeah. The suspension was much softer, more comfortable than the KTM. The similarities between them, isn't it? But this is perhaps more suited to what I'm looking for, I think, than what I've ridden so far.
You can nip to the shops or you can nip to Morocco, couldn't you? It's one of it's a do-it-all.
Right. Well, should we go and try the third mystery bike? See if that can change your mind?
Sounds good.
I'm intrigued.
Let's give it a go.
Okay, we're on to bike number 3 now, and this is the mystery bike, or the wild card. So let's see what Superbike Factory's Aidan French has chosen.
My name is Aidan. I've worked at Superbike Factory for a year and a half now. I work in the accessories department, selling the clothing and the helmets. The bike I've picked is a really unique one. It's got a lot of the touring features that Tom will be looking for in a bike. Cruise control, all that jazz. It's also an incredibly unique engine with a lot of power behind it. It's got a very interesting power curve. It's a unique sound, and I reckon he's going to absolutely love it. It's a weapon of a bike.
Tom, we have the mystery bike as chosen by Superbike Factory's Aidan. Now, we don't know what this is.
No.
And you certainly don't. But there's only one way to cure that. Get it out.
Let's get the covers off. Oh!
Supercharged.
Oh my
It's
goodness.
the H2, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Do you know, when I first just looked at it just then, I was thinking, oh, Z1000 SX, you know, or Ninja SX or something, but no.
Oh, it's got green. It's got green on the wheel.
Well, I know, yeah.
there is
I
a
know
bit
it's off
green,
to a
yeah.
bad start.
It says here it's the Tourer, hence the boxes.
All right, okay, a bit of luggage.
It's a 2019 model. It's got just under 8,000 miles. It's 11,600 pounds, so significantly less than the GS, and a bit more than the KTM.
Pound per brake horsepower. That's pretty fierce.
Yeah. What, the 200 horsepower or
200
something?
horsepower.
Yeah, with the exhaust maybe a bit more, I don't know. Wow,
The silencer on it as well.
That's a probably left field choice, not an adventure bike. What do you think?
I mean, it's a great bike, isn't it? They're really well thought of, great reviews. Looks really good. Not too keen on the green, but yeah, really excited to get out on it. It'll be very different to what I've ridden.
Bit of a horsepower frenzy, isn't it? This bit of a step up from the Tracer.
Yes, absolutely. Great choice. Yeah.
Good job here.
I don't know how I'm going to keep up with you when we're out there. I'm going to struggle, I think. Nice one.
Shall we?
Fantastic. Sounds good.
Okay then, let's see if bike number 3 can win Tom over.
So Aidan has gone proper left field with the H2SX, and I think he's surprised us all. I also think Tom is really looking forward to riding the Kawasaki, even if it has got a few flashes of green in it, and even though it's not an adventure bike. As Aidan says, the H2 has a unique engine and it makes a lot of power, and I can personally testify to finding the H2SX completely addictive. The SX also has a lot going for it on the practical front. It's a devastatingly effective touring weapon, especially in this, the touring spec, coming with panniers and cruise control, and the top box is easy enough to fit. Again, I had a Givey top box on the H2SX I rode in 2018. Plenty of room for me sandwiches, and they were the fastest sandwiches on the planet. So will the supercharged sports tourer steer Tom away from an adventure bike? Or has Aidan blown it? Let's find out what Tom thinks.
Right, Tom, before we get into what 200 horsepower feels like, Michael, can I have your impression of a supercharger,
Yes.
please?
Are you ready?
Look at that. Did it sound like that when you were riding
Did it?
Near enough the same, yeah, exactly the same.
What did you think? What did you think?
What a machine. Unbelievable. Great fun.
You're a bit wide-eyed there.
Yeah, I mean, there's no bad thing about the performance. The only problem is that I just don't fit it. I just can't, I just can't fit on. I haven't got the mobility to be able to operate the back brake properly, and I'm kind of fiddling my feet underneath the gear lever. It's the kind of bike you would like to have alongside the GS in your garage, so you could maybe just nip out for a 45-minute, hour-long blast and come back.
A real thrill.
But great, yeah. I mean, unbelievable performance.
But as a practical day today,
It's not for me at this moment in time.
yeah.
But it is something you definitely want in the garage alongside something else.
So maybe what we need is a black, not green, Kawasaki Versys with a supercharger.
Supercharged versus. There we are.
Perfect.
Hello, Kawasaki. I've got an idea.
All right.
Tell you what, why don't we decamp, we'll go inside, grab a brew, and we'll have a proper debrief. How about that?
Perfect.
Mega? Tom, end of I think it was a cracking day. You may back that up. But 3 bikes, 3 test rides, and a whole lot of information to digest. But should we we'll do as normal then. We'll run through them one by one perhaps and have a bit more of a deeper dive. I don't really like that expression, but more information, maybe feedback about them and see if we can maybe help in other areas.
Kick off with the KTM is the first one you rode.
Great bike, I mean, all 3 of them, it has been a great day.
Defensive look.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah, great bike, brilliant. The most aggressive, I think, of the 3 in terms of its power delivery. Comfort-wise, didn't feel overly different to the Tracer. It looks bigger, but didn't feel massively different. Quite a lot of vibration through the side of the tank and the side of my legs, but loads of ground clearance, handled really well. Probably felt heavier than the other 2.
Maybe it's top heavy, it might be centre of gravity because it is quite tall, isn't it?
I mean, ultimately, brilliant bike, but not for me.
Sorry, and the not for you bit was primarily the riding position, which we thought maybe we could have adjusted the seat. And brought the seat
Yeah, I
up a little
forget.
bit,
Possibly. I think it was a combination of. Don't get me wrong. If that was on offer and I went out and I could ride it for hours, it would be good fun.
Yeah.
But when you put it next to the GS, it comes second.
Yeah.
To the GS.
That sounds like every magazine road test ever.
Yeah.
Before we move on to the GS, then let's talk about perhaps the plus points of the KTM. I mean, you could have easily put luggage on it. You could easily, presumably, if you found a comfort setting on it, you could have ridden for miles. Or
Yeah, I think you know, I don't want to sound like I'm bashing it too much. It's a really good bike, tall, so it was really good for me. You know, my feet were still I could touch the ground, but it was still tall. Kind of channel your inner hooligan, I think, a little bit as well. That's pretty good. The engine's good fun, particularly in the sport mode.
Was the performance, was it like too aggressive, did it feel like it was egging you on all the time too much? Was that something that was in your consideration? Or?
I wouldn't say that. I think the only thing I would say is I want something that I can commute on maybe, or just nip to the shops on, or sit on the motorway or what have you. It's got to do everything. And that, I think, was a little bit snatchy. I think the fueling was perhaps not as good as other bikes I've ridden. Felt a little bit snatchy. Just didn't feel like something that you could just sit on, relax.
I wonder if that's in the different modes. Maybe that.
Yeah.
Sometimes I wonder if it's in KTM's DNA, because it seems strange to me that they make an adventure touring bike with a ready-to-race mantra. You kind of go, why isn't it ready to tour?
All about performance, really.
Yeah, wouldn't that make more sense? I don't know, but it's interesting that that's something you picked up on.
It's great when the analysis comes from the rider who wants to be able to buy the bike, and you know, obviously one of your primary focuses when you first spoke to us this morning was all about comfort and finding the bike that's right for you, and you know, it's in a good way. That's, you kind of discounted it straight away rather than umming and ahhing.
Let's go on to the BMW then.
Yes, so the GS, or GSA.
Look at your face, look at your smile, it says it all.
Come on.
I've always liked the GS, and it's not, you know, they always say that we don't meet your heroes, don't they? But in this instance, I've always wanted one. I was a bit worried about riding it. It's the first time I've ever ridden one. I was worried about riding it and not necessarily enjoying it as much as I thought I might.
It was an easy one for me to pick and a fairly obvious one for me to pick, so I'm sorry in a way about that. Brilliant example here, and this is a really good example.
What was the thing where you thought, oh no, this is good, this is what I want?
The one thing I would say about the Beamer compared to the KTM is that you feel like you're sitting in the BMW, you're a part of it, whereas you sat on the KTM. It felt like, it felt really comfortable, like you could do a significant amount of miles on it and spend a lot of time on the bike.
Especially with a 30-litre tank.
Yeah, and even the ride, you know, even the seat height and the seating position, but the ride, the suspension, it felt softer, but not wallowy.
It does soak everything up really nicely.
Yeah, and the front end, you know, the brakes are brilliant, but again, coming from the Tracer, quite a lot of front end dive for somebody sort of my size. That just soaks it up brilliantly. And
telelever.
Yeah, it was great.
It's really well evolved. They've just got it.
Yeah,
just so.
And in this example, it is almost the perfect suspension type for you, and of course it's electronically adjustable. Which
I might not have explored everything to its potential in terms of the different setup options.
But you explored the ground clearance, didn't you?
I did, yeah.
Got confidence in the machine as well.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, you could pull out the car park, and it really inspired confidence from the get-go. Really,
that says a lot. That says a lot.
What about the power delivery and the performance? Are they kind of key points for you to enjoy a bike of this size?
So. You've still got plenty of power. Evidently not as much as the KTM. You can feel that, but it's still enough for what I want to do and how I like to ride.
I still get surprised when I ride them by how much bottom end it's got.
Yeah.
You know, you get on it and you think, oh, okay, it's a flat twin. It's going to feel a specific kind of power curve.
Yeah.
And then it just goes, whoop, it's there. You're like, whoa,
great,
this thing's actually really lively.
Yeah.
And of course, it's got those rider aids that you talked about. It's got a lot of gadgetry, a lot of those those things that make you feel as a rider homely, don't they? And they give you the options of making it a more comfortable ride and giving you that safety and protection as well.
Yeah,
practical. Anyway, well, when you buy it, then you can do it on your own time.
Which brings us to the non-green 200 horsepower Kawasaki.
Yeah.
I think Superbike Factory did a really good job with the mystery bike.
Honestly, I was chuffed that they picked that. It was absolutely brilliant, great fun. That engine is unbelievable.
It sounded quick when you were riding it. I could hear that supercharger going on and the exhaust, and I was thinking, he's enjoying that.
Yeah. It was definitely, you can't help but get off it and smile.
Yeah.
The problem is it's kind of, it's just not really that comfortable for me. I don't fit it brilliantly. So therefore, it's not going to overtake the GS. But what a machine.
Well, it would overtake a GS, to be fair.
Well, yeah.
But it's a bit of a one-hit wonder kind of thing, is it? It's like the engine's amazing, but for my life, it doesn't quite fit.
Yeah. I mean, I just couldn't imagine filtering through traffic and going, when it's getting to autumn, raining, trying to filter through traffic as you're going to wherever you're heading off to. And I also can't imagine riding down to the south of France, going out for a spin on a bike night and for 45 minutes there and back is perfect, absolutely perfect.
45 minutes to a place that's an hour away.
Yeah.
That's interesting though, isn't it? Because I mean, it is a sports tourer. It's not built to be specifically for any particular size of biker.
Yeah.
And you're 6'4",
Yeah.
which is tall,
Yeah.
but not like abnormally tall.
Yeah.
And yet you don't fit Kawasaki's premium sports tourer.
Yeah. You just notice it. Like you come out the car park on the GS, immediately felt at home. Came out of the car park with that, you're thinking, oh, right, okay,
I've got to adjust to it. I've got to do this.
Absolutely,
got to do that.
yeah.
That says a lot. It says a lot about the BM that you've never ridden a flat twin, you've never ridden an adventure bike, you've never ridden a bike with telelever, and you get on it and feel at home straight away.
Yeah.
That's pretty remarkable, really. That says a lot about their development, their ergonomics, that kind of human-machine interface stuff that BMW do really, really well. Impressive stuff.
You told us earlier you've had a go on the Tiger 1200 already. Has anything else entered your sort of competitor or your rival, your list of bikes that you wanted to check out?
I mean, prior to today, I'd always got the Tiger 1200 or the GS or the Super Adventure as a sort of my top three that I think I would have gone for. Having ridden the Kawasaki, I'm a little bit more tempted to think about trying something that maybe has a more of a sports tourer type feel.
So I was thinking of BMW's S1000 XR.
Tall,
Yeah.
powerful.
Tried one of those? You've thought about
I've
it?
sat on one. I've never ridden it. I've sat on one. The tank shape is a little bit. It's quite angular, isn't it? So just again, my riding position, it feels like it's my legs are sort of pinching on the outside of the tank. The Multistrada obviously is a bit of a newbie, I think, compared.
You're thinking V4 Multistrada?
The V4, yeah. Sorry, yeah. Again, very pricey.
Very pricey.
There's the 1260, the L twin. Might have the same similar vibes to a KTM, but it'll be a little bit smoother.
The V4's a bit special, but the V-twin has got plenty going for it.
Yeah.
It's similar sort of power output. In fact, probably I think it might even be a bit more. It's,
okay.
No, there's no point. He's sold. It's a GS, isn't it? He's sold. What's the point? We're there. We've done it. You've done it. You've won.
Yeah, there's a couple of others. You mentioned you didn't fancy Harleys. I presumed you didn't mention you didn't fancy sort of cruiser style, but of course Harley do the Pan America 1250 as an option. A bike very much for the taller gentleman, I think.
There's the 901, the Husqvarna.
Yeah.
I don't know what that's like as well. It's maybe worth a try, but.
The Norden.
The Norden, sorry, yeah.
And they do an adventure spec version of that, don't they?
The thing that's in the back of my mind is obviously the new 1300, I think, comes out later on in the year. Is it worth just waiting a little bit longer just to see what that's like and maybe have a ride on that? But again, price then comes into it, doesn't it?
I was going to say, give you a chance to save up a bit more money then.
Yeah, I might need next year.
By the time you get to this level of spec, there's no pricing available yet, but it's going to be north of 20 grand, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Whatever I go for, it's not going to be too far away from what's there at the minute, so I'm pretty sure.
Will you tell us, will you let us know what you do end up with?
Absolutely, yeah.
Good job.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for coming along, being part of the process and entrusting us with your dilemma.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me. It's been brilliant. Really enjoyed it.
Well, there we have it. I think that's a win for Michael. I think that Tom will be on his way home thinking of GSAs as we speak. Thank you so much for joining us. I hope you've enjoyed the show. Don't forget that if you would like to be a star of What Bike Next, if you want Simon and me to help you out or try to help you out, then do get in touch with us. Enquiries at bikesocial.co.uk is the email address. Of course, you have to be a BikeSocial member. In order to be a BikeSocial member, you have to have your insurance direct with Bennett's, or you can pay £6 a month or £60 a year. Don't forget to get in touch with us either in the comments section below with thoughts, comments, queries, questions, anything you like, or of course there's our Facebook group. If you just search for Bennett's Bike Social on Facebook, you'll find us there. We do like to chat with you. Thanks again. Thank you very much to Pirelli and also to Superbike Factory for facilitating us, looking after us. And hope you've enjoyed the show, and we'll see you next time. Just 2 days after filming this episode, Tom went to look at a GS Adventure he'd seen advertised locally to him. It was identical to the one I'd chosen him, except it didn't have luggage, but it did have 3,000 fewer miles on the clock. Tom bought it and is planning a ride to Spain next month. A win for man. Yes, sir.
Saying anything there.
No, you just smile.
What year was this? 2017.
Hello. You still left them there. They're going to blow away. Boost.
Yeah. And you do that, I'll do this.